I am talking to a stressed dad who is divorced and who's struggling to pay rent. Now, this happens to be a situation that I'm part of, um, but I think is a very good topic to think about because I think a lot of other parents are in this category. People are in general are struggling from day to day. How do you make rent? How do you pay your credit cards? How do you pay for all the extra things that happen in your life? Now, without getting into all the detail of the situation, I think I'm more wanting to just really give some thoughts of what happened, the backstory, and then give you my thoughts of how I would get out of a situation like this. So, one of my tenants is struggling to pay rent. Why? Because he's divorced. He has a good job that has a lot of potential, especially in the next few months, next few years. Um, it sounds like he's going to be doing really well. However, right now he's not, and he's struggling with payments and expected expenses, uh, time off that he has to take, that he has to take care of his kids. Um, he can work 5 days a week because he wants to have the weekends off for his children. He has bills, like let's say a vehicle breaks, he has to fix that. And so rent payments get pushed to the back burner. However, he has to think in the back of his mind, okay, he has rent to pay, he has a house to keep over his head that he has to keep paying for them. So he's in quite a strait. How do you get out of this situation? Now, this is not it's necessarily advice for everyone. It's just more or less advice. It's just how I would do it. This is a coaching, if you want to think of this, or how I would approach a situation like this. Now, obviously, he probably has other bills to pay besides just the things that are typical. He probably has, obviously, he has gas. He has maybe a loan on his car. He has maybe utilities. Maybe even he's paying his ex-wife for childcare, etc. But what are some things that I can put to use right away? Well, number one is that he has 5 days a week that he's working. He really can't work overtime. The company's not allowing that. The distance he's driving to and from work is quite a bit. So by the time he gets home, it's kind of too late to really start a second job. However, I think the first thing that I would try to do differently is think differently. Number one, um, focus on um, decreasing the amount of money going out of your decreasing the amount of money going out of your account every single week, every single month. How can you do that? Well, number one is think more frugally. I was talking to another guy recently who had a bank account, who has a checking account that he's paid $7 per month to pay for that checking account. And I was like, man, why are you doing that? That's like over 12 years. That's like $1,000 that you're spending for this checking account. You can go to another bank for a checking account that's totally free. Why are you spending $7 a month? These $7 a month start racking up really fast. You get internet, you get a nice phone that you're spending 60, 70, $100 a month on. You're getting TV, you have some sort of cable or whatever you're watching. You have other things that you do, vacations or whatnot. You go to the store, buy clothing, you buy extra food that has no more fancier food. There's a lot of different areas in our life that we're spending way too much money on. So are there areas in those life that you can think about cutting back? Instead of getting your hair cut, clip them yourself. Instead of going out to eat, make your own food. I could go on and on about this topic. That's number one. Number two item that I really would like him to think about is thinking about his income, um, the potential that he has as a man who seems to have lived life. He's for about 40 years old or so. He probably knows quite a bit. He's not giving himself enough um, respect that he maybe knows a lot of things. Like, does he know how to fix, let's say, cars? Can he fix cars on the weekend? Well, yeah, you could. If you know how to fix cars, you could have your kids nearby because the weekends were time that he wants to be with his kids. Well, you can fix cars during that time, or fix maybe appliances. Maybe you can do some sort of delivery service with your children. You have that quality time. They see you working, they see you hustling. You can have that time with them. Those are just three examples that I give. There's many, many other examples. You could do like cleaning, house cleaning on weekends with your kids. Um, you could, again, just online gigs that you can pick up for part time that you could do. The sky's the limit. But the problem is that it seems like in this case, he has a mind shift issue that he has to shift his mind into different way so that he can actually make more money with his time. He's more valuable than he thinks he is. So that's number two. Number three items is pay down debt as fast as possible. And debt partially is to us because he has housing debt, rental debt against us. He has to pay some of that stuff off. If you can get rid of some of the, especially high interest debt, if you're not paying late fees for rent, if you're not paying interest for your cards, if you're not paying all these interest for your car and all these other things, you could actually save a lot of money. Remember that $7 I said earlier that if you save the $7 per month for 12 years, that's $1,000. If you can consistently find those little areas of money that's going out of your account, $10 here, $50 here, $20 here, $5 here, $1 there, $250 over here, guess what? You can start stacking this cash and you start saving in massive ways. Instead of going out to eat, can you make something yourself? Again, I can go on and on about this topic, but he needs to start paying down this debt instead of spending money on other things. Get that debt pay down, so you're not paying that high interest debt, and then you have less money going out in those areas. The last thing that he needs to do, like what I would do, is start an emergency fund. And now the emergency fund is just step one. This is at least 1,000, maybe a couple $1,000 he can put in away just for the case of emergency. Remember, I told you he's struggling. So what would you do if you're struggling? Well, think about this way. If let's say your car breaks down and it costs $1,000 to get it repaired, and if you have $1,000 or $2,000 emergency fund, it's not going to affect you as much because you already have that money saved up. You're already prepared for that. So those are the four things I would tackle right off the bat. Now, the last item I want to talk about is this, and that is what if this never have had to happen? Now, this might be the most important point of this whole discussion here. What if he could have prevented this altogether? He's divorced. And that's the issue. It's sad, but divorce happens, but oftentimes it can be preventable. There's a friend of mine who is looking around looking for girls to date, and he kept going to bars all the time. And he kept coming back and talking to me about how bad it is and how he struggles to find a good girl. And I'm like, man, you're fishing in the wrong pond. You're fishing in the wrong pond. And now this is not a could have, should have, would have. It is kind of that way actually, but you can't go back in time. But however, you can go forward in your life, especially if you're not married and you're looking. You have to make sure that you are on the same page spiritually, financially, emotionally. You have the same vision politically, you have the same vision with how you want to raise your kids. These are items that you have to get ironed out before you get married to this other person. Divorce is a wealth destroyer, as you can see in this situation. He would not be in this situation if he was not divorced. So, there are many things that he could do or could have done in his past to not have this issue. And if this video alone just helps one person, let's just say one person, get out of a problem, if this video alone just helps one family, I think it's worth it because maybe I can't help him out. That's his decision. I gave him some feedback and hopefully gave him some encouragement. But maybe this video will help you. This is how I would do it if I was in those shoes. These are the areas that I would hit and how I would maneuver. Again, start saving money like crazy. Live on beans and rice, figuratively. Get a second job. Work overtime. You have to start increasing your pay. You have to start increasing your income. That's number two. That's essential. You cannot get out of this financial rut without increasing your income. You just can't wait for taxes. You just can't wait for those bonuses. You have to get that consistent increased income. Number three, you have to pay off high interest cards, debt, pay down any of your rent. Like he has rent that he has to pay off right away. Get that out of the way because he's accruing other things when he's doing that. And number four is get some money set aside. Now that money set aside is not just a emergency fund; it's ultimately for investing as well. But for right now, just an emergency fund. If he can just do this, he would be in a way better situation. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Also check out the free resource down below in the description. With that,